Good evening. My name is Rose Allison, and I am the Anovité product coach. And I am here with Dr. Anthony Kleinsmith, our owner, formulator, and founder of Anovité. Thanks so much, Dr. K, for joining us tonight to share from your great expertise. Um,
Well, thanks for having me. This is going to be a fun one.
I think so too. I think so too. Well, to make it even more fun, the cat is out of the bag tonight. Most of you got before we jump into what we're going to talk about, the synergy for energy, the cat's out of the bag. As you may have seen in the newsletter that went out this morning, here you will see an exclusive look at the four images that you see on the screen that showcase our fresh new packaging of Seismic 6, GB6, Limmy 6, and Colostrum 6. We are excited to officially share the bold new look with you. This is more than a facelift. This is a reflection of our growth, of our innovation, and of Innovate's commitment to us. So you might ask why the change? We're evolving as a company to match the high quality, cutting edge products that you have grown over the years to know and love. The new design is very sleek, it's modern, and it will help Innovate to stand out. The products already stand out. Now everything will stand out, the visual also. The vision behind this rebrand was to create a look that mirrors the trust, the wellness, and the vitality of our products, and the products that bring to people's lives that we already know. Every detail was designed with our associates and customers in mind. And what this means for you, if you're listening, customer, associate, or even someone who hasn't bought yet, it makes it easier to share with confidence. We already know the power of the products, but when you have something beautiful like this to hold in your hand, this stunning rebrand will give you an edge in sharing with others. And for the associate, it gives you an edge in being comfortable to share the product that you are a distributor for. So get ready for new marketing materials, new digital assets, and tools to help you to leverage this new look. And it will be starting in the new year, and that's coming up very, very soon. So, after sharing that, we want to jump in tonight. I also want to introduce Dr. Kleinsmith a little bit more in terms of what we'll be talking about. Um, what I see Dr. Kleinsmith as is not just a formulator. There are a lot of formulators in the world. I always define him as a builder, as an architect, and as a formulator because of the unprecedented manner in which he stacks the products. The beauty of the Innovate products that I have seen in comparing, and I definitely am a researcher and do a lot of comparisons, is that he makes very potent products, but yet they're gentle to the person who doesn't do well with very potent products. The sensitive people do well. Then he makes sure that while it's giving the body what it needs to move toward balance, it's also giving the body what it needs to metabolize and to utilize it. And the body's not thrown off guard while trying to figure out what to do with this product that just came in. So, we want to thank you, Dr. K, for being unique and innovative in everything that you do. So,
Thank you.
hopefully that helps the new person to understand you a little bit more and why we are so different and why our products really work. So with so many different Innovate products on the market today, we're going to take a look at synergy for energy. Can anyone use extra energy during the month of December? I know I can. My calendar is already packed. I don't just need energy, I need immune support because I will be around a lot of people every single day of the month. So tonight we know that many of you will also be. So tonight we're going to look at something that I believe will make a huge difference for you. Um, with all of the products that Anovité has, the main ones we're going to focus on tonight are three of the ones that we just saw images of: the Limousin 6, Seismic 6, and GB6. I call these the pack products, the ones you rip open and you can put into your drink. So we're not going to be breaking every product down and looking at each individual ingredient in it, though Dr. Kleinsmith, I'm sure, will hit on some of those because of the questions we're asking him. We're going to look at the wide angle view and the target. Each of these products has a different targeted focus, and that's what we're going to be looking at. So when I remember Dr. K told me on a call not long ago, he said, I've even been surprised at the synergy that's happening when these products are combined. So, Limousin was a significant game changer for me 9 years ago. And I'm going to ask Dr. K a very important question about that in a minute. What if Limousin, with its significant game changer, and these new kids on the block, Seismic and GB, what if they can make Limousin even stronger to do what it's supposed to do? As we can see here on the screen, synergy is the interaction or cooperation of two or more substances or other agents to produce a combined effect that is greater than the sum of their separate effects. So, Dr. Kleinsmith, when we were recently talking about the synergy of these products, you recently mentioned that this synergy begins in each individual product. You talked about the synergistic components that you use to build each product. Can you expound for us on that a little bit in simple terms for those who may not understand
Okay.
what we mean by that?
Well, think about. I've always said there. I've said to you and a lot of other folks out there. One in the scientific community, 1 + 1 always equals 2, right? But if you can compound something, 1 + 1 can equal 3 or 4, right? Limousin, when I first built that product, I was looking forward to do some very specific things. If we help to remove some of the heavy metals and the toxins that build up over time, you're going to have a better mental outlook. You're going to have a better focus. You're going to slow that aging process. But it's also the way that it gets into your system, right? And it kind of is the carrier for the other two, because literally, it's effervescent and isotonic. Okay, so think about effervescent as mobility. Okay, literally, the moment it passes your lips, you have all of these receptor sites in your mouth, on your tongue, on the palate, all throughout, down your throat until you get to the point where you're getting into the stomach itself. And that's effervescent, is that mobility, right? Let's move it around. So if we can get it into, through that movement, more areas where you can absorb it, right? You're going to have a bigger bang for your buck. And it's focused on anti-aging. We want to slow that process down. We know through heavy metals and toxins that it actually does the opposite, right? It speeds up that aging process and puts you into the ground sooner than you want to be. But then you have this isotonic portion of it. And the way that I usually explain that is, if you ever watch a football game and those guys are going, right? On the sidelines, they're having some Gatorade, because what it's doing is it's putting in electrolytes and it's isotonic, gets in immediately, and they're back out on the field doing what they need to do. Another way I talk about it is, it's like a magnet, right? Your body, if you put 2 points of a magnet together, they push apart. But if you reverse that and you put them, boom, they slap together, right? That's that isotonic movement. And then you have that bonding, right? So you have that effervescent bubble and boiling a little bit. And it doesn't, just because it foams on the top and it settles, does not mean that it's stopped, right? So with Limousin, focus, anti-aging, detox, it's clearing out some of the junk that keeps us from being focused, from being happy, from being, that brain fog and other things. Then you bring in seismic, right? And think about this. When I got handed an energy drink, and they said, "Can you make this?" And I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "Well, why not?" I said, "Because it's bad for you." And recently, in the last couple of years, the CDC actually released something that says, "Hey, any person at any age taking those types of drinks, they're so bad for you. There's a 500% increase of potentially having a stroke at
Wow.
any
Wow.
age." So what we did with seismic is we said, no, we want to do it so that it's healthy waves, right, and targeted and focused. So when you look at it, a lot of people will use it, say, as a pre-workout. So they want to get that little bit of lift, and they want to just focus and get it done. Well, there's three different neurotropics in there, right, that work on getting this focused. Okay. So it gives you that stamina, and it has no crash, right? It's interesting to me when people go, "Oh, I don't know if I can take that." And I go, "Well, try it. Do it in the morning and see what happens." And throughout their day, they say it's like, I've got this nice lift, and then it settles, and then I got this nice lift, and then it settles, and then I got this nice lift, and it settles, and then when it's time for bed, I'm sleeping, you know. And I get a lot of folks that say, even on just on coffee, I can't do that. It crashes.
Right.
We didn't want any crash. We wanted it to support all of the different glands in the system and your immune system. Okay. Then you have GB6, right? All three of these products, by the way, have gone so far off reservation that it's even astonishing to me, because with gut biome 6, they talk about this brain, right? Now they're talking about this brain, right? And they need to get this brain talking with this one. And there are so many people out there that that doesn't happen, right? And it affects a myriad of things, not just, my bowels feel unsettled, but I'm feeling unsettled. My emotions are up and down and all over the place, right? Um, and what GB6 was designed to do is help reopen those pathways, the communication pathway, but also get what they're now deeming even a bigger brain than this one, to the point where it's functioning like it should, right? Get into that homeostasis, that balanced state.
Awesome. Awesome.
With those three things, you can create some unbelievable synergy and with energy, right?
Okay. And that's what we want to move into. So I have a question to ask you. So what if I get a call today from one of my customers and he says, so, hey, I just want to know what product you have for digestion. I get some weird stuff going in my gut and not digesting my food well, not regular in the bathroom. So just tell me one product, just that. Um,
GB6.
and what could
That's
help me.
simple. Yep, GB6.
But what if we tell them you can go even further than that? What
Right.
if we combined what what might they see? What I'm wanting to hear from you is what might happen if they take that GB6 and they pair it with Limuzi and seismic in relation to just the gut. So basically, I'm looking at the whole person as opposed to just looking at that one thing that they say is going on in the body.
Well, think about it in this fashion. That one thing that's happening in the body, that's what you see. Right? That's what you're experiencing. But there's a cascade of other things that have already taken place to get you to that point, right?
Yes.
Well, what we want to do, and especially with this combination, right? When I said that Limu Z, I actually built that formula, and then it's progressed, meaning with the different iterations, it's in its final resting place, so to speak. But I built that in 1998. And it was very specific, anti-aging, removal of toxins and heavy metals, and it does things like you take it in the morning and it gives you this nice lift. You take it at night and it just relaxes you and helps you to sleep. But even while we're sleeping, we have these brains that are not talking. This thing right down here that maybe not as functional as you would. And everybody, there isn't a single person out there on the face of the planet that says, if I could just, you watch 7-year-olds running and playing, jumping, and I could just bottle that, right?
Yes.
Well, you take Limousin with its mobility and its ability to be a magnet for the body and throw GB6 in, and throw seismic 6 in. And what you're doing is you're actually compounding not only the benefits of each individual, but now you're actually taking all these things, and instead of just having 2 by 2 by 2, you're getting a 2 by 10, right? You're literally, it accelerates the benefits here for GB6. It accelerates the cognitive, right, with seismic 6. The Limousin is doing what it does, but it's also taking these other two and making everything mobile, getting into your system immediately. I used to tell people, and I still do, right? Limousin, maybe half an hour before people go, oh, I feel that, right? Seismic is within 10 minutes you're feeling, okay? GB6 is over time. If you have this going on, it's almost within a day where people go, oh my gosh, I feel that. You
Calm.
add that into a carrier factor like Limousin, and then with seismic speeding things up, and with GB6 talking to the two brains together, and all of a sudden you just went supersonic with all three together. Right? And that's what I'm finding is as people start to play, right, and I tell people every day, you're all PhDs, right? Play with things, right?
Mhm.
Because you're going to find that there's a certain twist where you go, what just happened to me, right? Because this is doing everything that it should be doing. I'm cognitive beyond cognitive, and I am feeling like $1,000,000. Brain fog's gone, and it is just you just turned all three up into supersonic, right?
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome. I really like that explanation. A number of years ago, when I was still really sick and I was studying because I was trying to save my life. I wanted to be out of bed and living again. And I
right,
studied about Chinese medicine. And I loved the fact that they said that they look at a whole body. They don't have all these individual things they look at. They look at the big picture and go
right,
after the big picture. So when I talk to a new customer, I'm always after that big picture. And that's what I hear you talking about. Let's cover the whole body and
right.
fit in there. So that brings me to my next question for you. And I think you've pretty well alluded to it, but your brain always has something more to bring out for us. So I will ask. A number of years ago, when I talked to you, when I first started the products, you had recommended to me that I start on colostrum and Limousin 6 because you had listened and heard what was happening with me and had been for many, many, many years.
Right.
And I I said to you, oh yeah, but I want to try this product and this product. I have issues here and here. And you so wisely said, Rose, I think you should do colostrum and Limousin because you're trying to give your body that nourishment that it needs to move back because your body may pick up and do its own thing, balancing itself
Yeah.
before you do that. I felt like that was very good information for me. That was 9 years ago. Well, what about if today someone like me came to you and asked you that question, what would you recommend that I start on? I have these long-standing issues. Nothing works for me. I'm sensitive to everything. Now with the new products out, what would you say to someone in that situation as to how they should get started on the products?
Keep in mind, in each one of these products is colostrum 6, right? Um, because I tell folks all the time when I was very very blessed to have two academic advisors, Dr. Al Fox from Rutgers with immunology and Dr. Donald Lyon from Cornell with the colostrum side. And it's always fascinated me with them because they saw something in me that I didn't, right? And they literally said, listen, never think singular, right? Because colostrum is not a singular product in any way, shape, or form. It's literally the basis of something. The way that I form is how do we get your molecules to restore themselves to a more balanced behavior, right? Because we're always putting in things that are unbalancing all of our different cells, right? And if I were to say, I still would probably start with colostrum first because it begins that balancing. But then you may say, well, I want this or I want that or I want this. I would tell you right now, those three products have done so much for so many people individually, but the word is definitely getting out there, right? Where people are going, no, 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 you need to put this and put this in, and that in, shake it up, let it fizz, let it drink it down, and watch what happens. Sit back and just enjoy the ride, right? Um, and that's where those three products together work so synergistically well. Can you take each one and get absolute benefits? Yes, you can. But they work so synergistically well. The effect of those three products together. Um, I never want to say, oh, go out and buy more and more and more. No. And you used to ask me, if you're on an island, you're stranded, right? And I used to say, oh, it was easy. It'd be Floss and Lucy and then OxyQuest. Today's a different animal, right? Very, very different animal. Because those three products, I still say colostrum because you can literally live off of the stuff, right? We all did as babies if you were breastfed. But those three products, oh, I definitely have a case of those coming on the island with me. Why? Because individually they're going to be exceptionally beneficial. They're going to put you where you want to be, but put them together, and I'm going to make a boat out of sand,
That's
right?
good.
And the oars and a sail, and I'm going to be off the island looking back, going, there was no wood involved, right? It's because of that synergy. Because once you get this working and talking the right way, and you have focus. I mean, seismic 6 has three different neurotropics. It turns the brain up, right? Then you throw in the limousine, have it carry throughout the entire system, literally top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You start to find that people will ask you, "What are you doing? I've never seen you do so much in so little time." And it's because cognitively you're able to strategize and pull things together and go, ta-da, there's my boat. Oh, and without any pump,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So it's that
I,
synergy.
I love it. Since we moved to Colorado several years ago, there have been a lot of times where we might be out at night doing things, Brian and me, and my daughter who's in her late 30s will say, "Mom, you guys stay up way later than us. You go a lot more than we do. You were so active and you're going so much." And I love that the products, it's not like this artificial energy that
Right.
you have. It's like you just feel alive. You just feel good.
It's
So,
like they turn on the internal spark
good way to
to
say.
the real you.
I love that. I love that. And I feel like you covered well. I was going to ask the question. I love to hear your heart. I saw your heart literally the first day that we talked on the phone when I called Anovité and said, could I talk to someone in your science department? And I knew nothing about Anovité that can tell me why all of a sudden, after years and years and all these products, nothing worked. And why am I feeling better? And it was you that I talked to. You called me like within minutes. And at the end of a long conversation, I said, may I ask who you are so that I can, say how much someone in your company helped? And I nearly fell off the sofa when you said I'm the owner of the company. But I heard your heart that day because I hung up and I said to my husband, I didn't feel like it was someone trying to sell me a product. I felt like it was a person who knew his products, who cared about individuals, and who cared about seeing me move forward more than making a dollar. So, what the question I was going to ask is, there are those people. Unfortunately, I experienced this in the product world because I talked to a lot of different companies and owners and people that worked in science departments. And I felt like when I hung up, I felt like they just want me to buy the whole ball of wax. And I would do it because I was desperate. And then it would really flare me up, and life was not great. But I heard from you a heart that said, I want you to get the best bang for your buck. I care about you as the person. So, um, the question I was going to ask is, what about that person that says, yeah, he's just trying to get me to buy all three products? Is that your heart? Is that how you care about the individuals that you serve with your products?
No, and you've heard me say these. I live by four rules. Rule number one is they're all four sacrosanct. I can never take one away, but I can add. Rule number one is simple: help people. They don't even need to know that you're doing it, but help people, right? Pay it forward. And we tell people all the time, we're not here to sell you a thing. We're here to share with you, right? And the three things that we're kind of talking about. Now, seismic it isn't, but we have this box that so many people go, wait a minute, I just got this. What's it going to cost me? Nothing. Shipping, nothing. So I don't have to pay for this at all. No, nothing. Why? Because I know this, like you, if I can help that sensitive person who may need to start lower, right? Remember I told you, I said, take a pinch. Like,
Right.
so like a half teaspoon. No, 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 a pinch, right? Allow your body has an unbelievable molecular memory. Everybody talks about muscle memory, like for people going to the gym, but we have a molecular memory, right? And for me, even a pinch will start that person going,
It does.
with a pinch? Yeah. Folks, we only buy top shelf, we only produce top shelf, right? Um, we don't, I don't contract manufacture for anybody else. It allows me to have the luxury to buy only the purest ingredients to do the things that I want them to do. Now, I never look at the body in a singular format. I want to give you, if Colostrum says, "Hey, here's this product," I want to give you 30 or 40 benefits. Now I'm going to put something on there, and I want to double that, triple that, right? These three products, if you're sensitive, if you're start low, right? Start low and then have it build up. And that's where your body says, whoa, I remember this. I remember that point where I
Yep.
had balance, right? If you're younger, gosh, jump in with both feet, right?
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
if
Well,
you're, if you, go ahead.
actually, that's what we were about to move into. How do we do it? We've talked about the why. So let's just jump in toward our end and look at it. So what I would recommend is designing the perfect synergy drink for your own body. So for the person who's super vibrant, they are constantly on the go, they need energy constantly. They're little, those people when you meet them. And they need something to keep their body moving optimally all the time. This person might well be served by jumping in and having a full seismic, a Lumizir or two, GB6 or two in a morning drink. I love mine in ice water. I just really enjoy that in a big water bottle. Sip
Yeah.
on it, and then when you finish it, there's still more in there. So I just refill it and, and keep going. That's a really good way for that person that's like that. However, there are going to be the more sedentary individuals. They may be older, they may not be in as good of health, and they may, just like you just said, they will start lower and slower, maybe
Yep.
dilute more, sip more on it. Katie taught me this, Katie Kleinsmith brilliantly taught me this with the seismic. She said, "Oh, Rose, I was really getting jittery on it." And she said, "Put more water, sip on it longer. Don't just guzzle it all down at one
Right.
time." Brilliant, brilliant information. So I say for those people, maybe do it slower, do it lower, but encourage your body to find that place, because when you get it right, you
Oh,
feel it. If you get too much, you don't feel good.
right.
If you get too little, you don't feel as well as you could. When you hit that middle spot, you know it. And to me, the middle spot might change from day to day based on what you're doing. Are you expending? Are you using up all that energy and needing to get a little bit more of your synergy drink? But
Yep.
really, really sensitive person, just like you said, starting lower,
Yeah, start
starting.
slower, lower. And then what's going to happen is your body is going to talk to you, right? I know yours did. Your body's
Yes.
going to say, hey, could we have another shot? Right? Hey, could you add this in? It's funny because I tell people all the time, you're all PhDs, right?
Mhm.
Especially moms, because moms have to control and figure out ways to feed the kids, get them dressed, do homework, all the rest. You gotta put formulas together for life,
All the
right?
time.
Well, these three formulas put together is an absolute jumpstart to putting you back into control, right? If you need to start a little lower, then you start a little lower. But over time, as you have, right, you're going to find that, oh, I can do more. And boy, with your the way you've been running around lately, it does not hurt,
Okay.
right?
It does not hurt. I would not have made it through the past several months without my synergy drink for sure. Um, but I wanted to ask you, we've kind of shared a little bit with that, and we'll close a little bit on a little bit deeper of how to create your own synergy drink. But I wanted to ask you, do you have any stories from individuals that you heard? What were some of your ahas that when Seismic came out, when GB came out, when you heard people mixing them, do you have any ahas or big stories that you
Well,
could share?
it's funny because that's the one thing that I always ask people. Listen, send me those stories, right? Talk to me, text me, email me, because I love hearing things like that. One of our coaches, he said, Doc, I'm throwing the seismic and the GB6 and the Limu, and I'm doing certain things at certain times. And you actually got to see him not too long ago in Branson.
Yes,
I would call him Skinny Mini, right?
for
He has
sure.
he has lost, and now other people are looking at him going, "Well, what did you do?" Well, I have seismic Lima GB6, and I'm using it in this fashion. I've had other people that said, I have to get up, and I'm 4 cups of coffee before the ding happens in the brain,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you told me, how would you like to replace your coffee? And believe it or not, whole natural caffeine is actually quite good for you, right? On a
Yes.
certain level.
Yes.
But there's so much more with these three products. And I've had people that go, I don't even drink coffee anymore. Well, what do you
Yes.
do?
Yeah.
Because I only mentioned it in passing. They were like, boy, I heard you. So I put those three things together. And boy, it is rocket fuel, right?
It
It
is.
is Elon Musk should be calling me on get a
Yes.
better grade of rocket fuel. I've had folks that have said, I am clear from the moment I start drinking that until the time that I want to go to sleep, and I'm going to sleep like lickety split, right? I have
Yes.
people that are contacting me going, "Boy, I love the focus, I love the mobility of it, but man, it's like that. The GB6 is an extremely good product, but coupling those two things, you just put it on steroids,
Yes.
right?"
Yes.
So
Very, very
it
cool.
ranges literally from my gut has drastically changed. My focus and mental, and it's not just the focus on mental, it's my outlook on life has so drastically changed, especially with all the craziness going on in the world. All of us are looking for that, but they're like, you know what? Life is good. There isn't anything that really bothers me,
That's great.
but it wasn't that way before.
That's super. And one of the things I heard from my team was people who had been on colostrum for a long time and had seen a lot of benefits with immune system challenges where it needed up or down regulation. I have heard people say, who knew that when I
Yeah.
started seismic, and just kind of added that into my routine. It's just little things like that where we realize we are such complex bodies. And when you put the right thing into it that is intelligent food it gives it what it needs to move in the right direction. So these are amazing products. I did want to ask you, for those who take, when we're talking about the Synergy drink, there are people who might use those products, but then they also take colostrum. They take Flex 6. They take the leptotrim products. For those individuals, can they take them at the same time as the Synergy drink, or should that be divided up?
No, they can take it at the same time.
Okay, so they
As a
could
matter
be
of fact,
drinking them
the synergy drink that's kind of come between these three products may actually accelerate even the benefits of
even
these
those.
other
Okay,
pieces, right?
okay. And then there was one other product because we've kind of very high level hit on everything. I wanted to ask, you and I had this conversation and it was very eye-opening to me about OxyQuest. The OxyQuest bottle says to take the drops in water. And I see so many individuals that say, oh, I just throw it all in together and I put colostrum and Limuzi and OxyQuest. And my little brain, who doesn't know why, but just looks at it and goes, I think you're losing a lot of benefits from the OxyQuest when you mix it like that. I believe it needs water. Could you clarify that and help us to make sure that we do that right?
Think about Oxy. Oxy is the only one that I would say take it on a more individual basis, right?
Okay.
Because the isotopes and everything in there that make it synergistic with the body by putting in what we're looking for as far as helping the body to oxygenate itself.
Okay.
You water it down that way when you put it in with other things. That's the only one. All the rest will feed off of each other.
Okay. Super.
Compound. That
Good
one
to
I would say do it on it because you're putting. I put mine in 2 ounces of water. I do 50 drops in one time a day and I'm done. Right, and then I move on. But that's the only one that I would say put it as a separate. You don't want
Okay.
to wash it. You don't want to dilute it on that note. The rest, it's not a dilution, especially if you start with this concoction, this synergy drink. You're going to accelerate what colostrum does. It literally mobility, just gluing it into the system, and then all of the other benefits that come together, the energy and the gut brain and all of it just comes together in a nice synergistic package, so to speak.
Okay, super. So in closing out, I hope everybody's been able to listen well and be ready to design your own perfect synergy drink for your body. One of my pet peeves has always been picking up a bottle and reading that bottle and thinking that that label fits every single person, every single age, every single metabolism, and every day of your life. Our lives are different.
Mhm.
We're all different makeups. So I encourage you to take the products and build with them, play with them, create that perfect place for your body. Because when you find it, you will pull off your top level performance in a natural way, not in a trumped up way that leaves you crashing a little bit later. So you will quickly see the difference that these products can make in your life. Don't be afraid to experiment and to watch your energy soar, and especially through the holidays, because
Yes.
when you find it, you will know it, you will feel it, and you will operate very optimally. So, any closing thoughts from you tonight, Dr. K, before we close off?
Play with the products. Each product is designed to give you, this huge block of benefits. And it's really it comes from you folks playing in the field that this synergy drink has come together. I mean, it literally is like a wildfire out there where I'm getting people where could you hear that? Well, they told me about this, and then they told me, and then it was over here, and I'm like, wow. Then you're getting what Anovité is all about, a new you. But play with it because each one of them are going to give you unbelievable benefits, right? But combining those can accelerate all the benefits that you may be looking for.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your expertise tonight, for sharing with us. And Anovité Nation, we want to hear about your synergy drink and how it works for you through this busy holiday season. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.